Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to another DoMagettiIELTS.com Writing Task 2 lesson. Today's topic is, to what extent do you agree? So I'll put some pictures of some polls as to give you some idea of the language. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the following statements, etc. There's a little chart, a survey. And here's another question with different ways to answer. I fully agree, partially disagree, fully disagree. This is something we're going to look at while we dissect the essay. So today's question is, it is better for students to live away from the home during their university studies rather than staying with their parents. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your answer and provide ideas and examples from your own experience. Okay, so before we begin to look at this specific question, we've got to look at the overall question, which many students misunderstand. There are two types of agree-disagree questions. Do you agree or disagree? The answer to this is yes, no. The reason I say that is because from simple grammar, it tells you the answer must be yes or no because it begins with an auxiliary verb, do. Do is always yes, no. Do you like this or do you like that? Do you like this? Yes or no? Then we also have, two number ones there. Didn't see that. Doesn't matter. To what extent do you agree or disagree? To what extent means how much. Simple language, that's all it means. How much do you agree? How much do you disagree? So it tells us that it's not a yes-no question because it begins with to what extent. So we have to provide information in our answer. How much do you agree or disagree? That is the question. Sounds familiar. To answer this, we need to use an adverb. My suggestion is to use an adverb because an adverb tells you how much. So it fully complies with the answer. You can use other expressions, but my advice is to use an adverb for ease of use, meaning it is easier. So if you agree, you can say, I fully agree, I completely agree, totally agree, even wholeheartedly agree, mainly agree. Mainly is kind of strong, it's more than 50%, but you could use it, but I would use one of these to show full agreement. Now, you can also change it and use the noun, agreement. I am in full agreement with this. I am in total agreement with this. So this is just two different ways to say the same thing. And the same for disagree. I fully, totally, completely, wholeheartedly disagree. I'm in full disagreement with. I'm in total or complete disagreement with. Again, you can use this for different, when you're practicing writing different types of agree disagree essay. Change it about. Be comfortable writing two different ways, so you've always got that as part of your armory, so you can use it whenever you need it. There are other answers which can be used, but they are in the neither agree nor disagree camp. And it's harder to write an essay where you have to expand on both points to both support the question and negate the question. So like most of the teachers, my advice is to just choose one side clearly. Now let's look at the question. It's better for university students to live at home, etc. We've looked at that in the beginning, so we don't need to repeat it again. So the statement is, it's better for students to live away from home. That's what it's asking us. Do you agree that it's better for students to live at home? It's not about staying with the parents, it's about living away from home. Because if you read the question, it says rather than. So the choice is this. So don't be fooled by saying you're thinking you have to talk about them staying with their parents. If you disagree with this, then you will give reasons why they should stay with their parents. But this is the question. So it's better that they do this. Do you agree that it's better that they do this? No, I don't agree. I think it's better that they do that. Or, yes, I agree. I do think it's better that they do this. And then that's what you will write about. So, what extent? We've talked about that. So say how much you agree or disagree, provide reasons, give examples. So here we have a picture of our student, typical student in her dormitory at a campus sharing with another roommate. I'm sure some of you have been in this position before, so that photo will be familiar to you. Simple question. Is it better for students to live away from home while studying? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. How much do you think it is or isn't? 100%. They should. 100% they should. There's the basis of your answer. Now, ideas. For the four, they learn independence, meet new people, learn how to manage money, more freedom, escape from parents' clutches. They're just general ideas that have been generated or I've generated. Against the idea, it's cheaper to live at home, more parental support. Students are too young to live alone. Some people, parents especially, will always think their kids are too young to live alone, even if they're 20 or 20 plus. Some parents, not all. Parents need to be in control of their children. Again, some people believe this, that parents should always be in control of their children. And again, these are just ideas, not my personal opinion. Ideas. You don't have to give your personal opinion. What you have to do is generate good ideas that you can write about. Even if you don't agree with something, you could write about something well, even though you don't agree with it. So think about writing good ideas, not necessarily your personal opinion. So we choose two ideas from the same side and we generate our list. So learning to be independent and meeting people from different backgrounds. I've chosen these two. Says we're going to choose to fully agree with the statement, which most people do. Living at home, generally most things are done for you by your parents, so there's no independence. Most students said that it made them have to be more responsible by living alone. So there's just some things that I'm structuring my paragraph. Meeting people from different backgrounds. Universities are teeming with students from all over the world. This improves understanding of others and how to socialize with people from different countries, different backgrounds. Most students do not get to meet others when living and studying at home. That's quite wrong, actually. When they're studying, but they're living at home, when they go home, they've got their own friends they hang out with. If they're living on a campus, they maybe start to socialize with new students or other people. Okay, so first paragraph. And as you can see, I've color coded it as usual. with our linkers, discourse markers, topic sentence, supporting sentence, example sentence, and optional summary sentence. So firstly, students need to learn a sense of independence, or can learn, or get to learn. Whatever word you want to use is fine. This topic sentence tells the examiner what the paragraph is about, as you already know. And then supporting primarily because they need to be preparing themselves for life on their own. And this is the first step towards this. When living at home, most decisions are made for them or made jointly with parents. This situation puts them in a position to manage their own affairs, such as paying bills, cooking, and spontaneous decision making. The parents aren't there for any of these things, so they have to do them themselves. For example, there are studies which show that students in this position feel more comfortable to make decisions without parental influence or guidance. This gives them an increased sense of responsibility, which they take forward with them in life. And our summary, consequently, it can be seen that living away from folks fosters a sense of self-reliance. Independence, self-reliance is a paraphrase. So there's our first paragraph. I haven't put the numbers this time because you've got the general idea of counting the words. So you should be familiar with that by now. Second paragraph, same structure. Another beneficial aspect, again, there's my discourse marker, is that students can socialize with people of different cultures and nationalities. Topic sentence. When living in a campus, the vast majority of social interaction takes place outside of school hours. Therefore, staying within that university environment increases these opportunities, as opposed to going home every evening, where one is more likely to mix with their own group of friends. So there's the reason for our topic sentence. As an example, most students who live near their institutions say that their circle of classmates and friends has become more culturally diverse due to the fact that other nationalities make up a high percentage of enrolled students. Again, this is an example. I've just made up this example. It's not a real example, but it sounds like a real example. Remember, your examples do not have to be real. They just have to be convincing. Thus, this will benefit students by exposing them more to people they may not come into contact with if they only spend their study time on campus. Means they only study on campus and then go home every evening. So there's our two body paragraphs. And then we're going to do, just like we did in our cause and effect video, we're going to do the introduction. So we've got the question once more. We're going to do the title and thesis, put them together for our introduction. So we'll break up the title into chunks. I've chosen 4 chunks. It's better for students to live away from home during their university studies rather than staying with their parents. And the paraphrases for this I have are, it is more beneficial for undergraduates, there are more benefits for those at university, or there are more benefits for those in tertiary education. Look up tertiary if you're not sure. It means higher education, of which university is part of. To live away from home, to reside outside of the family home, to be located away from their parents. During their university studies, while studying, because we have those at university undergraduates, so we've put while studying, we don't need to repeat this. For the duration of their studies, again, two paraphrases, rather than staying with their parents, than to stay at home, than to reside with their parents. So we don't have to say rather than. If we, depending on the structure of our grammar in the sentence, and for these, you'll see in a second that we don't have to use rather. Okay, so now, to what extent? This gives us our thesis statement. Because we're agreeing with the statement, we begin with this fact. This essay fully agrees with this statement and will point to a sense of independence and a widening of cultural circles as the two main factors. So you can practice writing this sentence in a variety of ways. Practice is what improves your ability, not doing things once. I see far too many students who write sentences once or twice and think they know them. No, you need to write something a lot of times. And I don't mean hundreds of times, but I mean more than once or twice. Write it until you can feel you can write this sentence without thinking. That is the idea of practice. And that is the idea of getting comfortable writing things so you don't have to think about them. So now we have full introduction. There are benefits for those at university to reside outside of the family home while studying than to live at home. This essay fully agrees, missed that, with this statement and will point to a sense of independence and a widening of cultural circles as the two main factors. Okay, than to live at home. Now, in the UK, when we say at home, it only means our parents' house. It doesn't mean anything else. So, coming from a UK perspective, people might say, do you have your own place or do you live at home? Do you live at home is a question only has one meaning. Do you live with your parents? So that's why I use it here in this sentence, than live at home, because it only means with the parents. Now, you can change that if you want to, because I think in America and English-speaking countries, Western countries generally, it has the same meaning. I can only really speak for the UK. In the UK, it definitely means at home with your parents. But check it out. Make sure that it has the same meaning for you. If not, change it. Okay. Okay, right. Now, as a further thing, which I didn't do in the last essay, I'm going to extend it just to do the conclusion. We might as well do the conclusion because we've done everything else. So again, question again. We use the chunk method. You will use the chunk method. I'm just going to give you a finished conclusion. What we have to do is we have to restate our title, restate our agreement, provide a summary. So what I've done here is, there's my agreement. This essay believes, and then here's my title, that when students are studying, it's better for them to live apart from their parents. So there's the title, and it agrees with this. So that's all together. Then all I've done here is just say why. For the gains in independence and to mix with different types of people. That's paraphrasing my 2 points once more. That should be sufficient. So that's the end of the lesson. And again, for more lessons, go to the website. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a new video is released. Please go to our website for material and you can book classes. And we also have online courses that we've just recently developed. So if you are interested in doing an online course without a teacher, purely online, but there is plenty of material. In fact, there's 20 plus lessons for most of the courses, and each lesson is around about an hour. But you can go onto the website and you can actually look at some sample lessons from the course, which are actually free. If you do like the sample lessons, then you can enroll in the course and you can study at your own leisure. We will be available for any issues you have, but not really available for lessons or for tutoring, should I say, because we won't have time to answer all English questions. But there is a forum. If you want to join the forum and other people come onto the forum, you can ask questions in the forum, and either myself or other online students taking the course also will be able to answer your questions. Okay, so thank you for your time again, and see you in the next video.